Welcome to Jobs 4 Live.
You know that moment when you're staring at two job offers, one from a prestigious government department and another from a buzzing startup, and your entire future seems to hang in the balance? Today, we're diving deep into the eternal debate of government versus private jobs in India. We'll explore the real salary differences, the hidden perks, and the truth about job security that nobody talks about. By the end of this episode, you'll understand exactly what you're signing up for with each choice. So help me understand, what's really at stake when someone's choosing between these two paths?
Well, it's fascinating because this choice isn't just about a job, it's about choosing between two completely different lifestyles. According to recent data from the Ministry of Statistics, there's actually a 32% difference in starting salaries between comparable positions in both sectors.
Wait, what? That's a huge gap.
Right, but here's where it gets interesting. A survey by JobSpeak showed that while private sector employees might start with higher salaries, government employees often end up with better lifetime earnings when you factor in pensions and benefits.
So it's not as straightforward as it seems.
Not at all. You know what's really interesting is how this whole government job prestige thing started. It actually goes back to the colonial era when being part of the administrative service was seen as this elite position.
That's actually a fascinating historical context I never considered.
And that perception still influences how people view government jobs today. But let's look at some real numbers. The average government employee gets 15 types of allowances on top of their basic pay.
15? That's quite something. What kind of allowances are we talking about?
Everything from housing to travel to education for children. But here's what people don't realize. Private sector often compensates differently. They might offer stock options, performance bonuses, health insurance that covers your parents.
Speaking of which, I saw this interesting case on LinkedIn. A software developer turned down a government job that paid 45,000 rupees monthly for a private sector position starting at 85,000.
Yeah, but you know what happened after that? 3 years later, his government sector contemporary had already received 2 guaranteed promotions while he was still waiting for his first.
That brings up an interesting point about career progression. How do they differ?
So in government jobs, promotions are largely time-based. You typically know exactly when you'll move up. Private sector, well, it's more about performance and sometimes, honestly, just being in the right place at the right time.
But isn't there this whole thing about government jobs being super secure?
That's actually a bit of a myth these days. According to recent Ministry of Labour data, nearly 40% of government employees are now on contract basis.
Hold on, what? That completely changes the picture.
Exactly. And here's another thing people don't talk about, the work culture. Private sector has really evolved, especially post-pandemic.
Yeah, what's happening there?
Well, many private companies now offer remote work options, flexible hours. Meanwhile, most government departments still stick to traditional 9-to-5 schedules.
That's actually pretty significant for work-life balance.
Absolutely. And speaking of balance, there's this misconception that private sector means no life outside work. But recent employee satisfaction surveys show something different.
Oh? What did they find?
Well, according to TeamLease, 64% of private sector employees reported better work-life balance than their government counterparts, mainly because of flexible timing and work-from-home options.
That's surprising. Completely goes against what most people think.
Right, but let's talk about something that government jobs definitely win at, retirement benefits.
The famous pension system?
Exactly. Government employees get a guaranteed pension plus medical benefits that continue after retirement. Private sector mostly offers provident fund and gratuity.
But I've heard private companies are starting to offer better retirement packages now?
Yes, especially in tech and finance. Some companies now offer matched contributions to retirement funds, insurance that extends into retirement.
Let's talk about stress levels. What's the real story there?
Now this is interesting. A study by the Indian Journal of Occupational Health found that while private sector employees reported higher day-to-day stress, government employees actually showed higher long-term anxiety levels.
That's unexpected. Why is that?
It often comes down to the nature of responsibility. Government jobs frequently involve public service decisions that affect thousands of people. That's a different kind of pressure.
Makes sense when you put it that way.
And here's something else, the learning curve. Private sector typically forces you to stay updated with industry trends, new technologies.
While government jobs are more about understanding systems and procedures?
Exactly. Though that's changing too. Many government departments are now implementing digital transformation projects.
Speaking of change, what about corruption? It's something people often bring up.
That's a sensitive but important point. Transparency International's latest report shows corruption exists in both sectors, just in different forms.
Right, right. And what about opportunities for innovation?
Private sector generally offers more room for creative solutions, but government jobs are increasingly encouraging innovation, especially in departments like Digital India initiatives.
Let's talk about something that really affects daily life, leaves and holidays.
Oh, this is where government jobs shine. Average of 15 casual leaves, 20 earned leaves, plus public holidays. Private sector usually offers 20-25 days total.
That's quite a difference.
But here's the catch. Many private companies now offer unlimited leave policies. Though actually taking those leaves, well, that's another story.
What about job satisfaction? Any data on that?
Recent surveys show it's pretty even. Government employees report higher satisfaction with job security and work-life balance, while private sector employees rate higher on growth opportunities and recognition.
So really it comes down to personal priorities?
Absolutely. And your career stage too. Early career professionals might benefit more from private sector experience, while mid-career switches to government often make sense for stability.
What about geographic location? Does that play a role?
Huge role. Private sector jobs are concentrated in metros, while government jobs often take you to Tier 2 and Tier 3 cities. That affects everything from cost of living to quality of life.
And family considerations?
That's where government jobs often win. Better maternity benefits, children's education allowances, family health coverage, though some private companies are catching up.
So when you step back from all this, what's the bottom line?
Well, it's not about which sector is better, it's about which one aligns with your personal goals and values. Government jobs offer stability, structured growth, and excellent retirement benefits. Private sector provides potentially higher earnings, faster growth, and more innovation opportunities.
Any final advice for someone facing this choice?
Look beyond just the salary figure. Consider your long-term career goals, lifestyle preferences, and risk tolerance. And remember, neither choice is permanent. Many people successfully switch sectors mid-career.
That's actually really important to remember. It's not a life sentence.
Exactly. And the boundaries between these sectors are becoming more fluid. We're seeing more public-private partnerships, government startups, private sector consultants in government projects.
This has been incredibly insightful. Any last thoughts?
Just remember that success stories exist in both sectors. It's not about the sector, it's about how well you understand and leverage the opportunities in whichever path you choose.
And that brings us to the end of today's episode. Remember, whether you choose the stability of government service or the dynamism of the private sector, the key is making an informed choice that aligns with your personal goals. Until next time.